Your weakness did not begin with you. It began long before you had the strength to choose. It began with your mother. That single truth is the one you have been running from, the one society tells you to bury, to silence, to never speak. But it is there, buried deep in your unconscious, shaping every hesitation, every addiction, every secret failure you've carried. You want to believe your weakness is random, that it's just bad luck, that it's the weight of the world crushing you. But it is not. It is the shadow of the first bond you ever knew, the bond that gave you life and at the same time planted the seed of your dependence. Carl Jung called it the mother complex, the unseen grip of the maternal figure on the unconscious. And whether you want to admit it or not, it still rules you. It rules how you love, how you crave, how you fail. Look at your hesitation when you face conflict. Look at the way you bend when you should stand. Look at the secret hunger for comfort that rots you from the inside. These are not just your flaws. They are chains you inherited. This is why you remain weak, because you have never confronted the root. You have never dared to face the truth. Your mother is not just a memory. She is an archetype that still shapes your every choice. And unless you confront her shadow, you will remain what you are now. A child in the body of a man, trapped, dependent, controlled. But if you dare to face this forbidden truth, something else becomes possible. Freedom, sovereignty, power. The first bond you ever knew was not with the world. It was not with society, or with power, or even with yourself. It was with her, your mother. Before you spoke your first word, before you even had a name, she was already the universe you lived in. She was nourishment, comfort, protection, and at the same time, she was authority, dominance, and control. Carl Jung called this invisible inheritance the mother complex. And whether you realize it or not, it still shapes the way you live. It is the ghost at the root of your desires, the shadow behind your fears. Every hesitation you feel when you should act with force, that hesitation belongs to her. Every craving you cannot master, that craving is her gift. Every weakness you try to hide in silence, it is the echo of that first bond. You want proof? Look at the addicts who return again and again to their poison. It doesn't matter if it's alcohol, drugs, lust, or distraction. The surface addiction is only a mask. The real addiction is to comfort, to the illusion of safety, to the memory of the mother's arms long gone, but still ruling the unconscious. Jung warned, the man who never confronts the mother complex will never be free. He may grow in age, he may build wealth, he may even wear the mask of power. But inside he remains a child, still seeking her approval, still begging for her comfort. History is filled with kings, leaders, and warriors destroyed by this unseen grip. Emperors who ruled nations yet could not rule themselves. Men who carried armies yet collapsed when faced with their own inner dependency. They were not weak because of enemies. They were weak because of a bond they never broke. And you look at the patterns in your own life. Look at how you still seek validation. Look at the secret ways you bend, compromise, or submit. Not because you want to, but because something inside you whispers, don't lose love, don't lose safety. That whisper is not yours. It is the mother's shadow still speaking in you. This is the core of the complex. The first love that gave you life also planted the root of weakness. The same bond that nurtured you also enslaved you. The paradox is inescapable unless you confront it. And here is the hardest truth. It is not your fault that you carry this, but it is your fault if you choose to remain its prisoner. Because the man who never faces the mother within himself will always bow, always hesitate, always fall back into the arms of dependency. Your weakness did not begin with you, but the choice to end it does. You believe you are free. You walk, you speak, you make choices, you call yourself a man. But deep down, you are still chained. The chain is not made of iron or steel. It is invisible. It is woven from the craving for comfort, the hunger for approval, the fear of rejection. And this is the cruel reality. You carry these chains because they were the first chains you ever learned to love. As a child, you survived by pleasing, by obeying, by depending. Your mother's smile meant safety. Her disapproval meant danger. That code was burned into your nervous system before you even had words. And though you grew older, though the years changed your body, the code never left. It still rules you. This is why you hesitate when it is time to act with force. This is why you betray yourself in relationships, begging for love instead of commanding respect. This is why you cling to substances, to habits, to distractions, because your unconscious is still addicted to the drug of comfort. Dependency is the real enemy. Dependency is the prison. Dependency is the chain that keeps men weak. Look through history, and you'll see it everywhere. Roman emperors who inherited power but destroyed themselves because they could not rule their own impulses. Rulers who lost empires because they could not cut free from the influence of their mothers or mistresses. Men who had the world in their hands but fell as slaves to their desires. Dependency does not just break individuals, it breaks nations, it breaks civilizations. And now it is breaking you. Think about your own life. How many times have you stayed silent when you should have spoken, because you feared losing approval? How many times have you stayed in toxic relationships because you feared being alone? How many times have you numbed yourself with food, alcohol, pornography, or endless scrolling because you craved the illusion of safety? And every time you told yourself the same lie. I had no choice. But the truth is you did. You simply chose chains over freedom. Carl Jung warned that a man who does not separate from the mother remains bound to her forever. He may marry, he may succeed, he may pretend to be sovereign, but inside he is still a dependent child begging for security. His body may grow, but his spirit remains in the crib. Do you see it now? The man who cannot walk alone is not a man. The man who cannot endure discomfort will never be free. The man who cannot lose approval will never command respect. And this is where humiliation becomes transformation. Because once you admit you were chained, you also admit you can break those chains. You cannot free yourself from what you deny. But once you see the prison, you can destroy its walls. Society will tell you dependency is love, that seeking comfort is natural, that craving approval is normal. But look around. The men who live this way are hollow. They are easily controlled, easily manipulated, easily forgotten. The roots of addiction lie not in willpower, but in the mother. And you look at your desires. Do they make you stronger, or do they make you weak? Do they build your sovereignty, or do they strip you of it? Are you a master of them, or are you enslaved? Here is the most shocking truth. Desire is not freedom. Desire is slavery until you master it, and you cannot master it until you confront where it comes from. This is why so many men live as prisoners of their pleasures. They think they are escaping the world, but they are only sinking deeper into the shadow. They think they are choosing women, but the women are chosen for them by the unconscious bond they never severed. And until they see it, until they break it, they will repeat the same cycle again and again and again. You are not chasing women. You are not chasing pleasure. You are chasing your mother's shadow. And until you face that shadow, your desires will never belong to you. There is only one way out of this prison. It is not comfort. It is not escape. It is confrontation. Carl Jung called it individuation, the brutal process of breaking free from the unconscious bond that still rules you. It is not gentle. It is not easy. It feels like betrayal. It feels like death. But it is the only path to sovereignty. To break the curse, you must face the shadow directly. You must see the mother, not just as a figure of love, but as the first source of control. You must recognize that her approval has ruled your choices, that her shadow has haunted your desires, that her protection has chained your strength. And then you must cut. This is the ritual of separation, The moment you stop seeking safety, stop begging for comfort, stop bending to approval, it feels like exile. It feels like tearing away your own skin. But only through this tearing can the weak self die. History remembers only those who dared. Alexander the Great broke free from his mother, Olympus, who tried to control his throne. He loved her, yes, but he did not let her rule him. He became sovereign because he chose kingship over dependency. Jung himself spoke of men who never severed the tie. They grew in age but never in spirit. They became shadows of themselves, doomed to repeat the cycle. And then he spoke of the rare few who endured the fire of separation. These men became unreadable, unshakable. They were not driven by the mother's shadow, nor by society's demands. They were driven by their own center, the self. And that is the task before you, to walk into the fire, to face the pain of losing what once felt like safety, to endure the terror of standing alone. This is why most men never break the curse. They want freedom without pain. They want sovereignty without sacrifice. They want to be kings while still clutching the hand of their mothers, and so they remain children no matter their age. But you are here, and if you are still listening, it means you are not like them. It means you are willing to look where others close their eyes. It means you are willing to cut the cord that binds the unconscious. So ask yourself, are you prepared to lose what makes you weak? Are you prepared to burn the old self in the fire of individuation? Are you prepared to betray comfort, betray dependency, betray the child within so that the sovereign may rise? Breaking the curse is not a one-time act, it is a daily ritual. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you cut the cord. Every time you choose silence over begging, you cut the cord. Every time you face rejection without bending, you cut the cord. This is the dark ritual Jung revealed, that the man who kills his dependency is reborn, that the man who dares to separate becomes untouchable. And once the curse is broken, you will never be the same. The child dies, the sovereign lives, the weak one fades, the unreadable one rises, the chains are shattered, the curse is broken, and you are finally free. Freedom is not free. Every man who dares to cut the chain pays a price. You will not be celebrated for breaking the curse. You will not be applauded for severing dependency. In fact, the moment you step away from the comfort others worship, they will call you cold, selfish, heartless. This is the first price, loneliness. The man who chooses sovereignty must walk alone. He no longer bows to approval, and because of this, he will lose it. Friends will not understand. Family will resist. Society will whisper that he has gone too far. But this isolation is the fire in which the sovereign is forged. The second price is exile, not always physical, but spiritual. You will feel like an outsider because you no longer live by the same rules as the herd. While they beg for comfort, you stand in silence. While they bend for safety, you walk into danger. This exile is not weakness. It is proof that you are becoming untouchable. The third price is hatred. When you break free from the mother's shadow, you expose what others are too afraid to see in themselves. And because they cannot bear it, they will hate you. They will project their chains onto you, calling you arrogant, ruthless, dangerous. But this hatred is not a curse, it is a crown, for it means you are no longer one of them. Jung warned that to individuate, to become sovereign, you must symbolically kill the hold of the mother. This does not mean rejecting her humanity. It means cutting away the part of you that still clings, that still begs, that still waits for safety. It means letting the child die so that the man can live. This is the price of escape. To kill the weakness within you, even if it feels like killing yourself. To betray comfort. To abandon safety. To embrace exile and wear hatred as proof of your power. Ask yourself, are you willing to pay it? Are you willing to stand alone, to be misunderstood, to be feared, so that you may never again be ruled? Because if you are not, you will remain what you are now, dependent, hesitant, weak. But if you are, then you will join the rare few who broke the curse and rose as sovereigns. The choice is yours. Weakness or sovereignty, comfort or freedom, chains or power. And there is no middle path. This is the moment of death. The death of the child within you. The weak, hesitant, addicted child who clung to comfort, who begged for approval, who lived in the shadow of his mother. That child has ruled you long enough. He is the one who made you bend when you should have stood. He is the one who whispered, "Don't risk it. Don't lose love. Don't walk alone." He was not your strength. He was your prison. And now he must die. Close your eyes and imagine it. The child standing before you, trembling, weak, chained to the past. See his face. See his hunger. See his endless dependence. Now look at him with the eyes of truth. He is not your ally. He is not your protector. He is your executioner. Every weakness in your life came through him. To rise as sovereign, you must bury him. You must let the child die so the man can live. From today, the shadow of your mother no longer rules you. From today, your silence, your control, your sovereignty is your crown. This is the birth of the sovereign, the man who stands alone, the man who does not beg, the man who does not bend. The sovereign is unreadable, untouchable, feared. He does not chase comfort, for comfort is beneath him. He does not beg for love must come to him on his terms. He does not bow to approval, for approval is the currency of the weak. The sovereign's presence is a weapon. His silence is a punishment. His absence is a crown. And now that sovereign is you. No longer do you carry the shadow of your mother in your unconscious. No longer do you bow to the ghost of comfort. No longer do you repeat the cycle of dependency. The chains are broken. The curse is ended. This is your rebirth. This is your transformation. Remember this. The world does not reward weakness. It does not respect comfort. It does not follow children. The world bows only to the sovereign. The man who has walked through fire, paid the price, and emerged untouchable. From today, you're that man. From today, you are sovereign. The child is dead. The sovereign lives. From this moment forward, you will never again live in your mother's shadow. From this moment forward, you are not a child. You are sovereign. The weakness has been buried. The chains have been broken. The curse has been destroyed. And what stands here now is no longer the boy who begged, but the man who commands. You did not watch this to feel entertained. You came here because something inside you was suffocating, because you were tired of being ruled by ghosts, because you were ready to kill the child within and rise as the sovereign. And now you have. But this transformation demands proof. It demands a ritual. In the old world, men carved their allegiance in blood. Today, your allegiance is shown in action. Subscribing is not a favor. It is a declaration. It is your way of saying, "I refuse to go back." Liking this video is not kindness. It is a seal. It is your mark that the old self is dead and the sovereign has risen. Commenting is not casual. It is testimony. It is the voice of a man who has crossed the threshold and will never bow again. This is the ritual of rebellion, and only those who dare to break the curse can perform it. Carl Jung left us with a truth darker than most could bear. Freedom requires breaking the mother's hold. Few accept it, fewer survive it. But those who do, they are untouchable. They are the ones who walk through the world feared, respected, sovereign. Now the choice is yours. Remain silent, remain weak, remain in chains, or mark your allegiance here and now. The ritual is simple. Subscribe, like, comment. Not as empty gestures, but as proof. Proof that you have buried the child. Proof that you will never again beg for comfort. Proof that from this moment you walk as sovereign. Do it, declare it, and let the world know the curse is broken.